My picks for week 13 in the NFL. Please put your picks in the comments below. Starting with a great Thursday night football game. Buffalo travels to New England. New England is a 5-point home dog. The over-under is 43.5. It's unknown as I'm making this video if Von Miller is going to play. I don't think he does. I like the Patriots to win outright and obviously cover. I also slightly favored over as my score prediction. New England 24, Buffalo 21. Let's stick in the AFC East. Next up, the New York Jets travel to Minnesota to play the Vikings. The Vikings are a 3-point home favorite. The over-under is 45.5. I like the Vikings here. I think Mike White starting is really elevated the Jets, but not enough to beat the Vikings. I like the Vikings to win and cover. My score prediction, 27-19. Vikings beat the Jets. Next up is Green Bay traveling to Chicago to play the Bears. A lot of injuries here. Darnell Mooney is out for the year. You have Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker. They're both out for this game. And the status of both Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers is up in the air. The way it is right now, they're both questionable. I'm going to just assume that they're just both going to play, but I'm going to revisit this depending on the status of both quarterbacks. Right now, Green Bay's a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 42.5. Weather should not be an issue. As of right now, game time, it should be in the mid-30s with a slight wind for Chicago in December. That's perfect. I'm going to take Green Bay to win and cover. I got Green Bay 24, Chicago 13. Next up, Russell Wilson and the Broncos travel to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Baltimore is an 8.5-point favorite. Over-under is 38. I really like Baltimore to bounce back at home. Denver right now looks absolutely terrible. My score prediction, Baltimore 26, Denver 8. Next up, Deshaun Watson and the Browns travel to Houston. I want to tell you Deshaun Watson is going to start, but I actually don't have that confirmed. Houston is a 7-point home dog. The over-under is 47. I'm going with an upset here. Houston gets the win on a last-second field goal. Houston 23, Cleveland 22. Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles host the Tennessee Titans. Philly is a 5.5-point favorite. The over-under is 44.5. I'm going with another upset. Tennessee wins in a low-scoring game. I got the Titans 19, the Eagles 17. Next up, Washington travels to New York to play the Giants. A big game here in the Meadowlands. Washington is a 2.5-point road favorite in New York. The over-under is 40.5. Washington's won 6 out of the last 7, while the Giants have lost 2 straight and have lost 3 out of the last 4. In those 3 losses, Saquon Barkley, 46 carries, 114 yards. That's 38 yards a game for those 3 losses. The metrics all lean towards Washington winning in this one, but I got a weird feeling here. 3 upsets in a row. Giants win an ugly one. Giants 18, Washington 17. Next up, Jacksonville's traveling to Detroit to play the Lions. Detroit is a 1-point favorite. The over-under is 51.5. Now, these are 2 teams that started the season very poorly, but they're now peaking. Jacksonville upset the Ravens last week. They've won 2 out of the last 3. And Detroit lost to Buffalo on Thanksgiving, which ended the 3-game win streak, but they're playing much better now than they were at the beginning of the year. I got a lot of love from my Detroit fans, but I like the Jags in the shootout. Jacksonville 31, Detroit 29. Next up, Pittsburgh travels to Atlanta. Atlanta is a 1-point home favorite. The over-under is 42. This is a tough one, but I'm picking the Steelers to win a tight one. I got Pittsburgh 22, Atlanta 18. We got some great late starting games here. I'm going to start off with Miami at San Francisco. Miami head coach Mike McDaniel returns to San Francisco, where he was with the Niners organization for the last 5 years. McDaniel has been with Kyle Shanahan since 2015. So these two really know each other. Miami is a 3.5-point underdog, and the over-under is 46.5. This is really such a tough game. In my opinion, it could easily be a coin flip. But bottom line, I'm going to go with the team with the better defense at home. I like San Francisco 23, Miami 21. Next up, Seattle travels to LA to play the Rams. Who would have thought the Rams would be an 8-point home dog at home to the Seahawks? If you would have told me this at the beginning of the year, that you would see the Rams as an 8-point home dog to Seattle of all teams, I would have told you were smoking crack. But that's what we have. The over-under on this game is 41. Aaron Donald is now on the injury report. I do expect Stafford to play, but it's not finalized yet. I do expect the Rams to be very competitive in this game, but I do see Seattle winning a tight one. I got Seattle 22, the Rams 20. Next up, Kansas City travels to Cincinnati. Two of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. The Bengals have won 3 straight, 5 out of their last 6. And the Chiefs have won 5 straight, 7 out of their last 8. These two teams met last year in the AFC Championship game. And as I'm making this video, Patrick Mahomes just became a dad again. His wife Brittany gave birth to his son Monday night. So congratulations, Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs are a 2-point favorite, and it's going to be cold. And there's right now a 50-50 chance it's going to be raining. So you could have freezing rain in this game, and that could affect things. The over-under right now is 52.5. Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase are expected to play. Now, if you're going to bet this game, pay attention to the weather report because it is going to be in the mid-30s. So if it does rain, you could have freezing rain. That might affect things. And also pay attention whether Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase are going to play. As of right now, they're expected to. So I'm factoring that into everything. So I'm going to take the Chiefs in a fun one. I'm going to take Kansas City 32, Cincinnati 28. Let's stay in the AFC West. The Chargers travel to Vegas to play the Raiders. The Raiders have won 2 straight, while the Chargers won a fun one last week in Arizona. The Raiders are 4-7, and while they're not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, they would probably have to run the table and still get lucky in order to get into the playoffs. While the Chargers at 6-5 are still right in the middle of that playoff race. The Chargers are a 2.5-point favorite, and the over-under is 50.5. I'm going to go with an upset here. I like the Raiders to win 3 in a row. I like the Raiders 28, Chargers 26. Sunday night, we got a good one. We got the Colts traveling to Dallas to play the Cowboys. The Colts are a massive 10-point underdog in this game. The over-under is 43.5. I think that this is going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a close game, but at the end, I have the Cowboys winning a close one. Give me Dallas 24, the Indianapolis Colts 19. Monday Night Football, we got NFC South rivals. New Orleans Saints travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs. Tampa Bay is a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under is 39.5. Despite both teams having losing records, this game has playoff implications. Currently, the 5-6 Bucs are in first place in the NFC South, while the Saints at 4-8. If they win this game, they're a half a game out of first place, and they have a bye next week. This is a crazy season, so why not make it crazier? Monday Night Football, I got the Saints in an upset. I got the Saints 22, Tampa Bay 21. Let's go nuts. Again, please drop a comment below with what your predictions are. I give you mine, but I really want to hear from you, and I want to hear what you think. All the point spreads are taken from DraftKings right after Monday Night Football, so the line could change, and it may be completely different depending on when you watch this video. If you're new here, this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. If you like football, this is definitely the channel to follow. Also, I go live every Tuesday and Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. All questions are answered on the live stream, and anything goes. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again very soon.